Now, before we look at the aims and objectives on page 9, let's just have a quick look at a few other things. So, some questions for you then. We're going to explore why are you here, the consequences of poor training, and a quick reflection on how many months or years you've been training for. So you tell me then, why are you here on this course today?
To develop our teaching.
Develop teaching, yeah, sounds good. Excellent. And you were going to say there?
To recognise different ways of teaching, because everybody learns different.
Yeah. Different ways of teaching. Absolutely, we'll be looking at that in a big way, particularly tomorrow. Good. Any other reasons, thoughts?
Yes, communicate.
Communicating. So I'll say effective communication, perhaps. Good. Anything else?
I think effective communication, not just getting over what you want to say in a professional manner, which is probably effective communication.
Yes. Effective, I'll say professional and effective, perhaps. Because like in driving, there's a professional way of doing things, isn't there? You would soon recognise somebody who's not doing it professionally. Good. Any other reasons why you're here?
Different types of learning.
Yes.
Sort of same as
Absolutely. Explore different learners and therefore the strategies we can use for different training methods as well to help those different learners. Good. Anything else?
To get a recognised diploma.
Yes. Qualifications. So for your career then, you have a recognised qualification. Now, would that mean more money for you perhaps? Possibly.
Good way to do it.
I'll try.
Good try. You don't like terms.
Well, at the end of the day, it's going to enhance your CV.
Yeah.
And I've had people on the programme within a year, they're doing things that they quite didn't realise they might be doing when they first started. One of your colleagues here, okay.
Yes, fine.
One of your colleagues here, he said after doing the course, he got straight up the management structure there. And it was quite a surprise to him, and it was something he never envisaged would happen to him. So you never know what's around the next corner. Absolutely. Any other reasons?
Basically, to better ourselves in another way.
Yes. So, well, not only better for you, but also for your trainees and your organisation. So better self, your trainees, because they can achieve and feel confident perhaps, and your organisation.
Learn from other people.
Absolutely. And from others. And actually some people do mention confidence as quite a big thing. So why might getting a recognised qualification make you more confident in your training role?
Because they know how to approach.
Yeah. You know what you're doing, and you know what you're doing has been recognised because many people have been studying this for years and years and years through research, and they've come up with some fairly definitive answers about what to do and how to do it. Whereas if you hadn't done the course, perhaps you might be groping in the dark a little bit and not knowing quite whether it's working as it should be. Marvellous, thank you for that. Next question then, what are the consequences of poor training?
Accidents.
Yeah, well, that's quite a big thing, isn't it? Accidents. Now, what are the results of an accident then? What could that lead to?
Death.
Death. Looking at the financial side, any problems? Yes, so there's going to be a loss of money. Are you going to maintain your job if it's realised you're not training well and there is an accident? You could lose your job. Could you be sued possibly?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's that big money thing. If you don't have the, I think that's something else we should have in there, loss of credibility and reputation.
So
Well, it's for you
Give me say hold on.
and your organisation, because that will impact on customer service perhaps and credibility and reputation. And if you're known for not training terribly well, there's going to be a knock-on effect for the employees and your
And it
organisation.
might put people off
It does, doesn't it?
if you're a bad trainer.
Yeah. Because people might ask, well, who is training us this week? And you're either going, oh yeah, that's good, or maybe, I think we've all been there, haven't we? And that will mean motivation then. Motivation to learn by your trainees could be a lot lower. They're going to be demotivated because they realise it's quite boring and they're not learning very much because it's boring. What else have we got? Anything else? Well, looking at the motivation to learn, that's going to affect their well-being. Well-being. They're not going to feel good about being with you in your class, in your training environment, because they're not, they haven't got that feeling of trust in what you're doing there. Lovely, thank you for that. Let's go round the room then, and here's the final question. Your training experience, and that will include coaching, mentoring, on-the-job training where you've got a new recruit and you're helping them to get up to speed. So it's not formal classroom environment. So I've got about 35 years there. What about you there?
Well, as I explained to you, I used to be a semi-pro footballer, so I was involved with kids as well, so I used to train kids and that.
Excellent.
At one time. I also taught martial arts for 16 years,
Right.
and then stopped for a while after that. I was involved in various other organisations.
So if you add all of that up, over what period? Sounds quite a number of years now.
It is, because I've been doing this since I was 18, so it spans over nearly 40 years.
40 years, excellent. We know how old you are now, don't we?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Chris, what about you?
I've been with Turners a couple of years now, but before that I spent more than 35 years in the rail industry, both here and in the United States. A lot of the time I was providing health and safety guidance and instruction to frontline managers and personnel. So finally get to learn how to do it properly.
So how many years should we say there?
It's probably more than 25, providing guidance and
Plus.
training.
Yeah. Lovely, Chris, thank you very much. And Vivian?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have many years on this. Basically, I started off in hairdressing, so I've had apprenticeships that I've trained up all throughout the years, so I suppose that would have been over a period of 10 years.
Okay, and what about in the job you're in now? Do you get
In the
new
job I'm
recruits
in
coming
now, it's mainly sort of inductions and
Oh, right, okay.
yeah, do those.
So over what
That's right.
time period?
That's
have you been
over
training?
7 years I've been here.
So what, 17 years this year?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Rob, what would you say?
2 years training experience on the back of 26 years driving,
Yeah.
LGVs, with Turners for like 2 years since I've kind of been with Turners, been doing the training, and then previously, with other companies been doing the
We
driving.
did the driving. So should we pop 2 years on
Yeah,
there?
2 years, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Rob. And
I would say about the same.
But
I used to do table tennis, but I don't know if that counts.
yeah, of course it does.
So let's put 3 years.
3 years plus, perhaps.
Full days of that table
I know.
tennis. Yeah. You ain't
We
getting
didn't
good
discuss it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. And right.
Just the last year really, I've been training new drivers.
All right, excellent. What about getting new recruits up to speed in different jobs, perhaps?
When I was in the army I did a little bit getting up to speed, but
All right, well, include that then.
3, 4 years probably then.
So it's 3 to 4 years
Yeah,
on here.
around that. I'd say the last year's the only main bit really.
Yeah, no, that's fine, because it doesn't, people learn in all sorts of different environments, and you probably wouldn't sometimes label it learning, but they are actually learning. Thank you very much, and how about you there, John?
I started mentoring about 6.5 years ago, which led on to me being the driver trainer for the last 2.5 years.
All right, yeah,
So it's 6.5 years. So
6.5 years. So if I put 7 years, that will incorporate that. Lovely, thank you very much, John. Thank you all very much. Now, you may wonder, why on earth am I doing this? Well, the point is, this course is not about me telling you how to teach and train. It's how to get the qualification if you want to get it. So that's what this course is all about, how to get the teacher training qualification if you want it. However, on that journey, we can dip into all these years' worth of experiences. So it's going to be a collaborative program where we can share our own experiences of good practice. So that's what it's all about. So we're all going to be learning from each other in many different ways. Excellent, thank you very much for that. Right, let's go back into the introductory pack, page 9 now. If I could just ask you to review the aims of the course on page 9. So interesting to see that the first 3 aims of the programme are clearly all about teaching and learning, but then we've got some other things, 4 and 5. 4 and 5 may or may not be true. 5 particularly is going to be achieved in the assignment work that you'll do later on. Looking at the outcomes, well, the outcomes are simply achieving 3 assignments, A, B and C, but you'll notice that there are 3 different subjects. Sometimes people say, well, the questions look very similar in the different assignments. Well, they may be, but the questions are coming from different focuses. So maybe similar questions, but coming from a different aspect. Looking at page 10 then, something I've got to share with you is the appeals procedure for the awarding body that I'm working with. So have a quick read of the appeals procedure. It's never had to be used, but something to bear in mind. And underneath it says, go to page 52 to look at the glossary of terms in education. So let's go to page 52. Now, is it fair to say, if I came into your working environment, would I be faced with lots of acronyms and jargon words? I would, and I might not have a clue. Well, it's the same in training. There's lots of jargon words in training, lots of acronyms, and if you're in the job, it's not an issue because you get to know. So if you're not sure of some of these words I may use, I probably won't use many, or too much jargon, then you've got a jargon buster then on page 52 to 57 there. So if you have any questions, give me a shout. But if you're still not sure, then dip into the glossary of terms there. Now, looking at the screen at the moment, what can we see on the screen? What would you say that is?
Puzzle.
A
Jigsaw.
yeah, a bit of a puzzle, a jigsaw, isn't it? So this is like the course. So we'll be looking at bits of the jigsaw, but we won't get the full picture perhaps until right at the end. So just bear with it. Things may look a bit difficult and a bit confusing, but just realise that you'll slowly be piecing together the picture and it will make a lot more sense nearer to the end than right at the beginning. So just bear with it. Loads of people have got through very successfully, and if you start to stress about it early on, it's going to put you right off. So just go with the flow.